Okay, in Photo Paint, remember you do have a brush settings docker, so if you're drawing something, you can make all kinds of cool modifications, and the permutations are, um, you know, unbelievable between a combination of this and, your brush settings, types of brush, plus all this shit, unbelievable. And to change the size, by the way, if you hold in shift and drag your mouse, you can change the size of your nib kind of on the fly. Now again, can't get it to work with my graphics tablet. Double clicking on like the erase button, um, um, will erase everything just like you saw. In fact, double clicking on a lot of these things, has interesting effects that you can see. Let's see. And by the way, when you are drawing, if you hold in control, it'll constrain the brush in a given direction, either vertical or horizontal. So I don't know if it doesn't work diagonally, but anyway. Okay, in order to turn orbits on, by the way, that's what you got to do, because it wasn't actually turned on, apparently. I don't know. Yeah, because that's turned off, so kind of wondering about that. See, so if I just set the number of orbits to 1, you get a deal like this. So and here's how you toggle nib rotation. So if you change size up here, the nib size, I guess, is not reflected. When you hold shift and shrink it. See, it's supposed to shrink up here, and I guess it kind of did, but I don't know. It didn't seem to earlier. At any rate, like I said, that's rotated, and that's non-rotated. Now, let me change our nib to more of a thing like that. Okay, I want to feather it. Okay, so I turn the feathering amount down, I suppose, so it makes it more solid. But even though I have 100% feathering, it doesn't really seem to feather much. So I need to find a better feathered nib. I'm trying to play around with the combination of these to, slow this variation down. Kind of enter like 2 here and see what happens. 3 here. It's really kind of hard to get this to slow down like you might like. Okay, yeah, that's got it. It's a much more fluid change in color, but boy, you got to get those values low to do that. Yeah, the transparency on this is really kind of hair trigger. I mean, it really is really just way up there, before it starts to get transparent. At least on this particular brush, it's like that. So if you want a transparent brush, it's really just right up there in the top part of the range that makes it even remotely transparent. Now I don't know what this simulate pressure with mouse is. I haven't been able to figure that out, or this eraser option. And these pin settings, the opacity, pressure range. So I guess this is like an alternate set of pin settings or something like that. I don't know. I don't think this will affect it. same no matter what. Yeah, doesn't seem to make any difference. I don't know what that does. Okay, I've got the toolbars locked. You know, if you unlock it, you can move them around. That's actually good to lock them. Running a shitload of toolbars, and this is just a more convenient access to the, you know, the pen tools. So you can draw with crayons and everything by default, but you know, it's just all the different options you have over here. Like pencils and, you know, again, the brush that we're kind of doing before. I guess I should have saved my fucking presets. God damn it. Yeah, that's weird. Now these are less sensitive than they were before, and I'm starting a new brush. So apparently you gotta get the variation up there, which is better. I mean, that's what I prefer, because like I said, it sucked with it being so sensitive, you know, next to the bottom. So I mean, apparently, you know, you go through and change these tools, it'll fuck everything up. I mean, it'll behave differently every time. Let's see, I gotta figure out how you save a preset. Save brush. AB1. Okay. And this is kind of interesting. You know, so it'll draw an orbit around the original brush stroke. So you can kind of see how the orbit is actually working. And I'm including the center. Now if I exclude it, it just draws the orbit. So that's kind of sweet. Okay, so you know, to get to these various brushes, you can see they're stored at the bottom of the list, and so you know, I created two different brushes for that similar effect. And then AB3, you know, you see it just like in Photoshop, it does preserve the size of the brush too, so that you can change it. And then we got our orbit brush, and then our orbit with center being preserved. So, you know, again, it's easy to save your brushes, so, and recall them. You know, I kind of suspect that these different pen settings we have here are really just because they all essentially use the same exact parameters, so I think they're really just all modifications of the same parameters, same sets of parameters. You know, with some of them used, some of them not. So and I think that's how they achieve these presets. So they're really all kind of the same thing. They're just presets. You know, but a class of presets, because again, you know, each one of these, you know, has its own little you know, little style settings, so as well as its own shapes. But you know, the shapes seem to pretty much be the same for all these pens, so you know, there's not as many permutations as you might think. You know, but they still are classified because, you know, again, you go to like a pencil, you know, you don't see the brushes that I created, but you can still modify these and save these as different pencils, like, you know, pencil, right? Okay, so, I don't know, try to mess with some parameters here and see. Okay, so we created that. So let me see what happens if I save it. Save brush. Call CP1. Okay, now see that saves it up here in our list. So you can go select that for the parameter, but if I go back to my brush tool, we got a different set of parameters, but pencil, I can always save a pencil. So it's a way of categorizing them so it still has some use. So I can make a crayon-like modification, etc., and just keep things kind of categorized. So, but anyway, now what I really wanted to get to, is to show you, this, and this is what's really cool, the symmetry option. So, you can do that. Set symmetry center. Right now, I guess it's somewhere in there, but you can see how the symmetry brush wants to interplay. But if you want to do a mirror symmetry, you first got to turn the mirror planes on because they weren't on. But you can set it to horizontal or vertical or a combination of both, and you can see what's going to happen here. So it's like a kaleidoscope. So it's pretty slick, as you might have guessed. But so in the standard symmetry, you can see what it's doing. Basically it's centered around a point, but you can, set it to 3 points. So you need to be in pen, but see, symmetry applies to whatever you're doing. So again, it's pretty fucking slick. Let's see if it works with boxes. I doubt it. I don't even know what that is. Well, it's a rectangle tool. Okay, well, anyway, it looks weird in here. But at any rate, so it's pretty slick, So let's see. And, you increase it to 5, so select the pen. Alright. And it even works with the eraser tool. So like I said, it's quite slick, that can be quite useful.